This is the hour-long prenatal movement, rest, and breath practice. Remember that everything in this practice is optional. You can skip sections or add on and modify as you need. Throughout your pregnancy, your needs can change day to day, so be mindful as you move through and adjust each time you practice. The suggested start for this practice is a heart bench.
One option to set up a heart bench is to use two blocks, one on its medium height and one on its tallest height. Set up a capital T shape with some space between them, so as you recline back, your seat is still on the ground. The bottom edge of the first block hits the center of your back, and the tall block supports your head. You could also do this with books or other items. Another option is to use a block or a book to support a bolster. A proper bolster will be stiff enough that it should be steady, and as you recline back, you feel your sacrum against its bottom edge, and again, your seat is on the ground. You might add a blanket beneath your head for a little bit more height. You could also do the same with any pillow that you might have around.
As you settle into your heart bench, you can choose either to have your legs extended long, the soles of your feet together, your knees open, or the soles of your feet flat on the floor, your knees pointed up towards the ceiling. Whatever feels most comfortable in your low back and allows you to soften into the position. If your knees are wide, feel free to support them with blocks or books, pillows or blankets, so that you don't feel that you're holding your knees in place. In these first few moments, be aware of any tension in your face, especially around your jaw. Let your shoulders drop back around your props, your chest opens, and give yourself a few slow, steady breaths. If possible, breathe in and out through your nose. If that's not in your capacity today, or if at any point it feels like a release to sigh out through your mouth, you're welcome to do so. As you arrive into your practice space, give yourself permission to take up space. Give yourself permission to notice how you are, exactly as you are in this moment, without feeling the need to change it. Give yourself a few more breaths here as you settle in. Know that you can always stay longer if you'd like, but when you're ready, bring your hands to your thighs and slowly draw your knees together like you're closing a book. With the soles of your feet against the mat, space your feet about hip-width distance apart, if not a little wider, and let your knees and your thighs touch at center. Little to no effort as you release your low back, create space across your sacrum. Same steady breath. As your legs rest in this position, take your arms up towards the ceiling. Spread your fingers and begin to wiggle them or roll your wrists to circulate some fluid through the joints. And then interlace your fingers and flip your palms up towards the ceiling. Really press up and feel your upper back round on the inhale. On your exhale, without bending your elbows, anchor your shoulders down into your props. Straight vertical movement here. Inhale, press up, upper back rounds against the props behind you. Exhale, draw shoulder blades down against the props. One more time, inhale, shoulder blades protract. Exhale, shoulder blades retract. See if you can feel the happy medium between the two and begin to take your arms all the way overhead. As much room as you have, breathe into your chest, spread your collarbone. Inhale. And exhale, release your arms down by your side. Bring your hands to your thighs as you step your feet just to hip width. Mindful of what's around you, let yourself roll towards one side. It doesn't have to feel graceful as you come out of your heart bench. Place your palm against the ground, and on an exhale, press your way up as we start to find a seated position. Take time to notice the props around you and set up in the way that's best for your body today. You may choose to set up a kneeling seat using a stack of blocks on top of a blanket. Alternatively, you could use a stack of books and find the height that works best for you. If you take either of these options, place your items back behind you, between your ankles, and sit back against them so that you feel your sits bones firmly rooted. This will help you to be upright. You can also sit on the folded edge of any blanket. Creating a folded edge just helps you to sit up a little bit higher, which again will help you to find more length in your spine. You're also welcome to sit on the edge of a chair. Make sure that your feet are flat on the ground. As much as possible, sit towards the edge of the chair. You can also place a stack of books or place blocks beneath your feet, or sit on a large blow-up exercise ball. As you arrive in your comfortable seat, give yourself a moment just to reconnect to your breath. Could your inhales be steady and slow? Your exhales steady and slow as well. And try to maintain this steady breath even as we add movement. And gently release your chin to your chest. Soften the back of your neck and your shoulders. Slowly roll your right ear to your right shoulder. Unhinge your bottom jaw. Lengthen the left side of your neck. And take your chin back towards your chest. And gently bring left ear to left shoulder. Still breathing here. One more time, chin to chest. And this time, lift your head up through center. As you do, reach your arms out and up overhead. Spread your fingers. As you exhale, press your palms together and draw them down towards your chest. Press enough into your hands that your elbows lift and your shoulders engage, and then slide your hands towards the left side of your chest. Slowly turn your chin over your right shoulder. Take a slow breath in and out. Inhale, hands and head through center. Exhale, switch sides. Hands shift right. Chin moves left. Full breath here. Inhale, hands and head back to center. And as you exhale, release your hands. Give them a little shake or roll out your wrists. On your next breath in, reach both arms back up overhead. And as you exhale, let your right hand come to the ground beside you. If you can't reach the ground, place your hand on your hip. Sway over to the right without putting too much weight in your hand. Inhale, move back up to center. Your sits bones are still firmly rooted. As you exhale, switch sides. Left hand towards the floor or onto your hip. Sway in that direction. Start to move with your breath. Inhale up through center. Exhale, sway to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, sway left. Let your breath be slow, your movement slow to match. The next time you sway to the right, hold a little bit longer. Roll your left shoulder onto your back, open your chest. Breathe into the spaces between your left ribs. Keep your right hand where it is, and on an inhale, bring your chest up to center. Bend your left elbow to bring it to your right temple. With your hand on the side of your head, lean your head to the left. Not pulling, just gently opening. If it feels stable here in your body, your right arm can lift to about shoulder height. Spread your fingers and turn your palm up towards the ceiling. Try turning your palm down and back. Notice any different sensations as you rotate your shoulder. Inhale, reach both arms up towards center. Bring your head to neutral. Exhale, release your left hand down. Sway in that direction. Pull your right shoulder onto your back and breathe into your right side body. With your next inhale, bring yourself up to center. Bend your right elbow. Hand to the left side of your head. Let your head drop to the right. The two sides may feel different, so only if it's welcome in your body on this side. Your left hand could lift to shoulder height. You could play with the rotation from your shoulder. Explore opening the left side of your neck. Same steady breath. With your next inhale, reach both arms up, head to center. Exhale, release your arms by your side. From here, we'll prepare to move into tabletop position. There's never any rush. Don't force yourself quickly through transitions. Instead, move with stability. You can use blocks beneath your hands or stacks of books. Make sure your knees are beneath your hips. You can even lower onto your forearms so that there's no weight in your wrists at all. Either wrists or elbows beneath shoulders. You can even use a chair here if you'd like more height in your tabletop position. As you arrive in tabletop, begin to move your body in whatever way calls to you in this moment. And try to move with your breath, whether you're swaying your hips or inhaling to drop your belly, lift your gaze, exhale to round your spine. There are no right or wrong answers. It's just an exploration. With your belly button pointed towards the ground, be mindful of the weight of your belly and any pulling at your low back. Use your low abdominals and your side abdominals to support that space. When you're ready from here, you'll start to set up a child's pose. Let your knees open wider, shift your hips back. There are many ways to set up child's pose if you're not comfortable doing it flat on your mat. You can use a bolster beneath your chest and your head. You could prop that bolster up using a block or a book. You may also have a blanket beneath your knees and shins to add extra padding. If you don't have a bolster, use any large pillow or stack of blankets to give yourself a place to rest. Another option that you could use is to roll a blanket or a towel and place it behind your knees. Sometimes this provides more support for your seat. And finally, if you have lots of props to use, you could sit on a bolster or a pillow and play with the height of a block or stack of books out in front of you so that you can rest a second bolster or pillow partially on top of the first and also out on top of that stack. This can be supportive for your hips and give your torso a place to rest. In whatever variation of child's pose you've found, Be sure that there's little to no effort to maintain this shape. Relax your bottom jaw and perhaps take a few purposeful release breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Check in with the quality of your breath once again. You may feel limited in your ability to take a deep breath, but see if your breath could stay slow. Slow and steady. If at any point during active postures you find that you're straining or that it's difficult to breathe, you can come back to a position like child's pose or a seat, anything else that's restful to you. Reconnect with your breath. Check in with what you need and slow down. Take at least one more breath here and know that you can always stay longer if you'd like. But when you're ready to come out of this position, you'll press into your hands to lift your head and your chest. Rise back up towards a tabletop position and readjust your props as you need so that they're out of your way and you feel supported. And this time in tabletop, when you're ready, extend your right leg back behind you. Shift your toes over to the left edge of your mat and look over your left shoulder. For a few breaths, rock forward and backwards, passively opening your left side body. Perhaps you also feel a stretch through your foot, your calf, even your wrists. Match your movement and your breath. Start to take your gaze back to the top of your mat and slide your right leg straight back behind you. Root down through your grounded knee and hands. And when you're ready, try to lift your right foot to about hip height behind you. Flex your foot to use all the muscles of your leg, all the way into pelvic floor and low abdominals. Notice if you're still able to breathe as you catch your balance. See if you could take your gaze more forward. And then if it's in your capacity, explore lightening your left hand or stretching your left arm forward. Wrist at about shoulder height. Take one more breath in, and as you exhale, release your hand if it's lifted. Keep your right leg long and set your toes back to the ground. Mindful of what's around you, take your right leg out to the right and try to place your foot so that your ankle is in line with your knee. The outer edge of your foot is rooted. Keep it as flat as you possibly can and bend your right knee so that you can begin to circle your hips here. Sensation and mobility in the joints of your pelvis and the surrounding muscle can change every day. So you might think of these circles as a spiral. Let them begin small and move out to your comfort level. Circles could get bigger with each round. Try to match these circles to your breath so that one side's your inhale, the other side might be your exhale. Switch directions. Notice if that changes anything about your experience. Always aware of your breath. And start to let your circles wind in towards center until you're relatively still. And then walk your hands in towards you until you can step them up onto your hips. Keep rooting the outer edge of your right foot, and inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, release your right arm to your right leg, anywhere but your knee. Lean in that direction. Left shoulder stays back as you take a breath into your left side and out. Inhale brings you back up to center. As you exhale, option to reach for a block or stack of books and place it beside your grounded left knee. Give yourself a spot where you can release your left hand flat. Place as much weight in that hand as you need without putting strain in your wrist. Fingers point away from your body. Reach your right arm up for modified side plank. Lengthen the left side of your body. See if you could lift your left hip up towards the ceiling. Notice the direction your belly button's pointed here. Try to use your side abdominals to keep belly button pointed forward, as if you're hugging your belly closer to you. On an exhale, look towards the floor. Let your right hand come down and walk yourself back to the top of your mat, either sliding or placing your foot so that your knee can release. Then walk your hands back towards you. Come to a kneeling seat or stand on your shins for a moment. Interlace your fingers, extend your knuckles out, and roll out your wrists, releasing any pressure there. Circulate fluid. Maybe you can explore both directions. Draw figure eights the opposite way. When you're ready, release, give your wrists a little shake, and come back towards tabletop. You could set up the same way or shift position if you need. From your tabletop, as you're ready, you'll extend your left leg back, toes against the ground. Let them shift over to the right edge of your mat. Look over your right shoulder. Begin to rock forward and backward with your breath. Feel the spaces between your left ribs opening up, creating new space for breath, especially if you've been feeling short of breath. Take your gaze to the top of your mat, left leg straight behind you. As you're ready, root down. See if you could lift your left foot to about hip height behind you. Press your heel away. Continue to breathe. Take your gaze forward. See if you could let your right fingers become lighter or reach your right arm forward without any change in your breath. Take one more full inhale. Exhale, release your right hand down if it lifted. Keep your left leg straight, set it down against the ground, and take your left leg out to the left so that your toes point forward, the outer edge of your foot is rooted, and your ankle is in line with your hip. Try to keep your foot as flat as you possibly can and allow your knee to bend so that your hips can circle here. Again, perhaps you think of this as a spiral so that you can explore your edge. Find the space where you feel sensation, but not so much that you tense against it or hold your breath. Explore circling both directions if you haven't yet. Let your circles wind in towards center. Little by little, you'll find more stillness. And once you're relatively still, left leg is straight. Look forward and start to walk your hands in towards you until you can step them up onto your hips. Anchor your left foot and inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, release your left hand to your left leg. Without putting pressure on the joint, lean in that direction. Breathe into your right side body. One more breath. On your inhale, reach both arms up, come to center. As you release your hands, you can find a prop to place beneath your right hand. Line your hand up with your grounded right knee, palm flat. When you're ready, open your left arm up towards the ceiling or all the way overhead. Get as long as you can through your left side, all the way from your rooted foot to the tips of your fingers. One more breath in. On an exhale, look towards the floor. Release your hand. Walk your hands back to the top of your mat. Bring your left knee beside your right. Take a moment to shift and readjust in tabletop position. For a few breaths, set up a restful position, whether that's child's pose, a seat, or anything else that feels good to you. Give yourself these next few moments to reconnect to your breath, to slow down, and to check in with your needs. When you're ready, you'll return to tabletop so that we can prepare for a lunge. Use blocks beneath your hands to give you the height to be able to step your foot forward into a lunge. You could also use stacks of books. Make sure they're steady as you place your hands on them. For even more height, feel free to use the seat of a chair. Another option is to use a large inflatable exercise ball. Be mindful so that it's set up that it won't slip. As you step your right foot forward into a lunge, give yourself a moment to pulse in and out of your front knee and check the alignment that you've set up for yourself. Once you're sure that knee is over ankle, you feel steady where you are, send your heart forward, open your chest. It's helpful to have both hands inside of your front ankle to start to give you more space. When you feel ready, one hand at a time, hands can step to your front thigh. Lean your shoulders back over your hips. Every pose is a balancing pose. Be mindful here that your gaze is fixed at one point. If you'd like, arms reach up overhead, but they could also stay centered on your body, at your chest, or on your hips. Keep rooting down through your right big toe. Take another inhale. Full breath out. Last inhale here. And then look towards the ground. Reach your hands back to your props as you straighten your right leg. You may have to scoot your hands and props back. See if you could flex your right toes up. And then send your heart forward again. Focus your gaze on the same unmoving point. You could keep your hands down or let them lift as you inhale. Bend your right knee again. Perhaps all the way up, arms towards the ceiling, or hands stay down. Exhale, straighten your front leg. Hands come down if they had reached up. Flow like that. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, half split. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Open your chest. Exhale, half split. Straighten your front leg. This time stay low, but still find movement. Open your chest on your inhale. Exhale, bend your elbows to release yourself lower towards the ground. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, soften down. One more time, inhale and exhale. This time as you look forward, rebend your front knee. Put as much weight in your hands as you need. as we'll turn this lunge shape into a wide leg forward fold.
If you're using blocks, to move from your lunge to wide fold, bring both blocks inside of your front ankle. Put as much weight in your hands as you need in order to tuck your back toes and lift your back knee. Then pivot on your mat, bring your feet parallel, and your blocks can come with you as you turn. The same can happen if you're using books. As you lift your back knee, bring both hands to the stack of books that's on the inner edge of your front ankle. As you pivot your feet, slide or place the set of books out in front of you so that you can continue to use it for added height if you'd like.
As you go through those steps on your own, be sure not to rush. Every movement should feel as stable as possible, so take your time to transition. Weight in your hands as you lift your back knee. Props come with you as you're ready to turn on your mat. And as you arrive in your wide fold, make sure your feet are parallel and that you feel the outer edges of your feet rooted against the ground. You can continue to use your props to keep your chest more level with the ground, or you can step your hands lower to the floor if you're comfortable having your head lower than your heart. In either position, release your neck by gently shaking your head no and slowly nodding your head yes. Same steady breath here as you found before. And slow inhales and exhales through your nose. Bring your hands back onto your props if they've moved, and start to press into your hands to lengthen your spine parallel to the ground. Walk your hands back towards your front foot, return to a lunge, back heel spins up so that back knee can release. You'll make your way to tabletop position. A few moments there to release your spine. Inhale, drop your belly, look up. Exhale, tuck your chin and round. Any other positions or movements that feel good to help you release between sides? Only when you feel ready, you'll begin to prepare to lunge on the second side. Again, you can use your props beneath your hand to give you more height. Step your left foot forward. Outside of your props may give you more space. You could pulse here in and out of your front knee to find the distance between your front foot and your back knee that's most comfortable in your body today. Just the right amount of sensation, not so much that you can't breathe. Gaze forward, root your left toe. When you're ready, hand step to your front thigh. Any variation in your arms, that might mean reaching your arms up towards the ceiling. You might choose to keep your hands center at your chest or on your hips. Find your fixed gaze and your steady breath. Breathe into the sides of your body from hips to armpits. Left big toe continues to root down to keep your body steady and balanced. Take one more full breath in here. On your exhale, hands release towards your props. Left leg straightens. Left toes flex up. Blocks may step back. Foot may slide forward. Flow between these two shapes with your breath as you feel prepared. Inhales lift you to kneeling lunge. Exhales, hinge and straighten your front leg. You can move through with your hands down against props or reaching and lowering. What you did on the first side may or may not work on the second side. Be mindful of what your body is telling you that you need here. Stay low in your half split the next time you arrive there. Flex your toes up without locking your knee. If you found it was helpful, inhale, open your chest, and exhale, soften your elbows. That little lift and lower with your breath may help you stay conscious of your breathing and may help you find new space each time you exhale, release. From here, you'll rebend your left knee. Put weight in your hands so that you can curl your back toes under, lift your back knee from the mat, and again, slowly spin towards wide fold. No rush to set up. Your props can come with you. Your spine could be level to the ground or draped towards the floor. Find your even breath. As you're ready, pivot your toes out to 10 and to a clock. Bend both knees. Start to sway side to side by deeply bending one knee and then switch to bend the other. Let this movement be slow and in time with your breath. Look forward and see if your hands could get lighter against your props. When you're ready, one hand at a time steps onto your thighs. Keep swaying. Maybe now your shoulders move too and drop beneath your face. Twist your middle and upper back. As you continue to root into your feet, your hands can slide up your thighs. Let yourself lift higher and higher, little by little, no rush. Still swaying as you lift. Once you arrive more upright, you can pause, reach your arms up overhead, and exhale, release your hands by your side. Toe heel or step your feet closer together. And from here, we'll turn to use the wall for the next portion of practice. Find a free space at a wall or lean over a piece of furniture if there's no such space in your home or wherever you're practicing. Make sure that whatever you have your hands on is sturdy, and you can place your hands at about shoulder width, perhaps shoulder height, though if you're using furniture, they may be lower. Step your feet back and allow your body to hinge at the hips to create a shape like down dog, but at the wall. Pedal your legs here just like you might if you were in down dog at your mat. There's less weight here in your arms. You can decide whether or not your head goes lower than your heart. As you move, aware of your breath and aware of the weight of your belly, use your side abdominals to lift your belly up towards you without contracting center abdominals tightly. Look towards the wall and take a step in with your right foot so that your big toe is just a few inches from the wall. In this nice long stance, allow your left foot to be flat. Your left toes may have to spin out to about 11 o'clock to facilitate that. When you're ready, bend your right knee. Pause here and open your chest towards the wall. It may be helpful to bring your right hand to your right hip and make a slight self-adjustment as you pull your right hip back behind you. More stability through your low abdominals and your pelvic space. Inner thighs get closer together. Can you maintain that as you place your hand back on the wall? Take another breath in, open your chest. Exhale, straighten your right leg. Pause and notice what shifting, if any, happened around the center of your body. If it was helpful, use your right hand again to pull your right hip crease back. You might imagine you're wearing a wide belt around your pelvis to keep the two sides together. As you inhale, bend your knee and open your chest, and exhale, straighten your right leg. Pulse between these two shapes. Try to keep the center of your body as still and as stable as possible. The next time that you bend your front knee, pause. If you're using a wall, begin to lift your left hand up the wall and slide it over to the right. Look beneath your left armpit, or if you're using a piece of furniture, look over your left shoulder. Breathe into your left side from your heel to your armpit. Full inhale. As you exhale, slide your left hand down the wall if it had lifted. Press both arms straight. Press your right leg straight and bring your left hand to your left hip. Pivot all 10 toes to the left so that you're in a wide stance. If you're at the wall, you can toe heel your right foot all the way up against the baseboard. Let that help you feel rooted here as you spin your left toes towards the center of the room away from the wall. Bend in and out of your left knee. Feel the broadening across the front of your pelvis. And use the wall or the piece of furniture you're holding to create more space in your right side. As you're ready, hold your left knee bent. Breathe into your right lung. If it feels comfortable, you can reach your left arm out to shoulder height and gently turn your gaze over your left shoulder. Take a full breath here, in through your nose and out. With an inhale, flip your left palm up, reach high and back, fingers tracing towards the wall. Breathe into your left lung. On your exhale, return to center. Left hand to left hip. Straighten your left leg. Toe heel or step your feet closer together. Turn to face the wall or the piece of furniture you've chosen, and return to your down dog shape at the wall. Feet hip width distance, toes point straight forward, hands shoulder width. Find the height in your torso that's comfortable as you hinge from your hips. Take a few rounds of breath to pedal side to side. Perhaps you notice the difference between your right side and your left, having done that sequence on one side, but not yet the other. Notice what's true for you as you breathe. As you're ready, look towards the wall and step your left foot in so it's a few inches from the wall or the piece of furniture. Make sure your right foot is flat behind you. That may mean spinning your right toes out slightly. And bend into your left knee. Open your chest towards the wall. If you found it was helpful on the first side, bring your left hand to your left hip crease as you self-adjust and pull your left hip back behind you. Take an inhale, open your chest higher. Exhale, straighten your left leg. If there is any shift between these two shapes, take a moment to adjust. Left hip still pulls back. And then try to keep that central space as steady as you can. Begin to pulse between your bent knee and your straight leg. Notice how much work it can take in your stabilizing muscles in order to maintain a steady space at the center of your body. What does it feel like to engage those muscles here? Are you still moving with your breath? The next time that your left knee is bent, pause. If you're able, walk your right fingers up the wall and over to the left. Look beneath your right armpit. Otherwise, look over your right shoulder and breathe into your right side. Create as much space as you can on your inhale. Release tension on your exhale. As you're ready, right hand slides down the wall if it had lifted. Left leg straightens. Right hand to right hip. Spin all 10 toes to the right. Left hand can remain on the wall or on the furniture as you turn your right toes towards the center of the room. Pulse in and out of this wide stance lunge. Try to keep as much space as you can on your left side body. And as you start to feel what's most aligned for you here, just be mindful that your right knee is over your right ankle, not tracing past your toes. If it's comfortable, reach your right arm to shoulder height. Soft gaze, steady breath. On an inhale, flip your right palm up. Reach your right arm up and back. Lengthen your right side. Keep the bend in your right knee. Take one more breath. Bring yourself back to center. Right hand to right hip. Straighten your right leg. Turn your right toes in and toe heel or step your feet closer together. From here, you'll prepare to squat at the wall by turning your back against the wall if it's available to you.
You can prepare for your squat by setting 2 blocks on their tallest height beneath you as you place your back against the wall. And as you rock or slide down, you should land so that there's 1 block on its tallest height beneath either of your sit bones. You can also set up your squat more upright, using a chair to add more height. Make sure that you can still feel your sits bones beneath you and that your feet are flat. Another option is to use a large inflatable exercise ball and use the wall to slide down towards your squat.
If you're moving into your squat by leaning against the wall, you can take a moment with your knees slightly bent to rock side to side and feel your sacrum press against the wall. Slowly work your way down as you continue to rock. Hands can be on your thighs, at the wall, or against your props so that you land comfortably with something beneath each sits bone. Wherever you are, space yourself so that your ankles are beneath your knees. If it's comfortable, palms turn up towards the ceiling. Relax your shoulders down your back. You could close your eyes if that feels right, or just let your gaze be heavy. Come back to your breath. Even out the edges of your breath and allow it to slow down. You'll move from your squat to slide your right hand down your right leg towards your ankle or calf. Arm is inside of your knee, so that as you open your left arm up towards the ceiling, you feel your chest expand, your chin can lift. Big breath here. Exhale, look towards the floor and let your left hand slide down your left leg. Begin to peel your right arm open, twist in the opposite direction. Pull your shoulder blades back in together. Take another breath in. Exhale, look towards the floor. Release your hand, let it slide down your leg. You'll move from your squat to come towards the floor. Remember that not all of your transitions need to be graceful, and that you should move slowly in the way that's most stable in your body, so that you can arrive in a seated position on the ground, perhaps with the folded edge of a blanket beneath your sits bones to give your pelvis a slight tilt. Start to roll out your ankles and your wrists. Release tension from your standing and active postures. When you're ready, keep your right leg extended. Bend your left knee and bring it into the inner edge of your right. You can always place a block beneath your bent knee to create more support if that's helpful to you. Flex your right toes up towards the ceiling and turn your chest to face your right leg. Open your chest as you roll your shoulders back. Sit as tall as you can. When you're ready, walk your hands along the floor. Hinge at the hips, and don't worry how low you come. Instead, think about creating length through your spine. If it's helpful to you, you could pulse up and down with your breath to stay in tune with your breath and perhaps to create more space. The next time you open your chest and look forward, pause for a moment. Place your right hand inside of your right leg. Start to open your left arm up and overhead, as if your left fingers were reaching for your right toes. Send breath into your left lung. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, release your left hand beside you. And for a moment, just open your right arm to counter stretch. Release as you come to center and switch legs. Extend your left leg out. Place your right foot against your left inner thigh. You may need a prop on one side and not the other. So remember, you could place a prop beneath your bent knee. Flex your left toes up and look towards them. Sit as tall as you can, and when you're ready, walk your hands along your leg to hinge. Mindful, whether you're still or pulsing, that you feel sensation in the back of your left thigh. If you only feel this behind your left knee, give your left knee a little bit more of a bend. Move with your breath if that's helpful. And the next time you open your chest, pause. Place your left hand inside of your left leg and circle your right arm up and over. Breathe into your right lung. Inhale up through center. Exhale, place your right hand beside you. Open your left arm. Counter stretch. Come back to center as you release. And from here, you'll prepare to set up your final resting pose.
You can set up a side lying position by placing one blanket across the center of your mat and folding over the other to create a pillow. Any towel or piece of clothing could work as well. Use 2 blocks or stacks of books to give a bolster or pillow more height alongside your mat, so that as you come to lay on your side, there's a place for your head to rest, and it's somewhere for you to rest your top leg as well. Another option is to set this up the same way without the stack of blocks or books, and use any pillow that you have. You can also set up an elevated position by laying back onto the ground and placing your ankles or calves up on the seat of a chair. Again, if you're not comfortable lying flat on your back, you could take a similar position but create an incline using a block, a stack of books, a bolster, or pillow, so that as you recline back, your feet are still able to come up and rest, but you're not flat on the ground. If you're comfortable setting up a more traditional legs up the wall position, scoot yourself to sit right up against the wall, lean back, and rotate your body around so that your back is flat on the ground and your legs extend up the wall. You can give yourself an elevation here too by using a bolster and a block or a pillow, anything that you have to create the shape so that your legs can extend up the wall, but you're not laying entirely flat on the ground.
As you come into your final resting pose, make any small adjustments you need and fidget until you can be as comfortable as possible. Remember that you're never stuck where you are, and that if you need to reposition or change shapes at any point, you're welcome to do so. Be sure that there's little to no effort to maintain the shape that you're in. Little to no effort in your breath. Your active postures allowed you to open space. Now could your breath just fill and empty that space like a vacuum? Not forced at all. You may find that you get distracted or that your mind moves quickly as your body finds stillness. You may find that stillness is welcome today, or that you're sleepy. Whatever your experience here, it is valid and worthwhile. If you can drop into rest or sleep, then allow yourself to do so. If you find that you're restless, you can return your attention to your breath and simply watch the pace of your breath slowly fill, slowly empty. Continue to let your body soften as you enjoy this well-deserved rest. And from wherever your attention may have gone, begin to invite it back to your breath. Take a conscious, slow breath in and out. Let breath reawaken other movement in your body. You might wiggle your toes, or fingers, or rock your head. Remember that there's no rush. As you begin to shift and stretch in the ways that feel natural to you, your movements can grow over time. There could be steps along the way. Give yourself the next several minutes to move with stability out of your resting pose and into the rest of your day. Thank yourself for making this time to slow down and to connect.